growing, and I guess we'll see more of that growth here as the drafting phase for game number 2 will now begin. Team HAQ gonna be drafting on the blue side, Team SMG on the red.
Right now, Team HAQ, they banned the Tamus again, and after seeing how Smooth plays, I kind of don't blame them. Don't give Smooth this kind of aggressive EXP laner. It will not be a fun game. But again, I do want to see whether will there be a focus on the Akai, and the Akai has been banned. Thank goodness. I am happy for this because Box, you've been too much. You've been too much.
You realize it's day 3 of MPL, and for the first time, we'll actually get to see Box play a different hero. How exciting!
How exciting!
But the bans will continue here. Fanny was banned out by Team SMG earlier, and the 1-1 going to be a pretty common ban as well. With these final few bans, it's going to be very difficult for Team HAQ to decide how they want to approach this, because yeah, we can see a lot of really powerful heroes in the pool now. The Julian, Beatrix, Valentina, all heroes still open. And interestingly enough, despite already having banned Akai themselves, the Diggy will be removed from the pool. So maybe Atlas?
Maybe Atlas. Honestly, a lot of like Min has a lot of heroes that he can create a big kind of impact with, and the thing is, for the side of Team HAQ, this kind of does make it a little bit difficult because right now you are the first pick. I was about to say, if Valentina is open, do they want to pick up the Julian? Because for the side of Team HAQ, there's a lot of heroes on the line, and I feel like Valentina is the optimal pick, but this might be something that Team SMG wants. I just have that kind of feeling, you know?
I don't really think it's a feeling. It's basically a confirmation here when we're talking about Team SMG. Coach James, the way that he drafts, if he bans the Julian here, he wants Team HAQ to take that Valentina. It is expected, and it's something they are planning to play around. We can see that they instantly pick up the Beatrix. Understandable, considering that is going to be open here. And it does look like that is also a Faramis. Haven't gotten to see that, and it looks like we're not going to see it as well.
Yeah, 12 bans in total, only picked once, however have not gotten any wins. The Faramis is very annoying, whether being a mid lane damage dealer or a roamer, just because of the way that you can set up a fight, because you can pull everyone with your Shadow Stampede. And the moment it looks like someone is going to die, you just pop up the cult altar and then they can survive. But the thing is, right now Valentina has quite good options, I would say, for her to use her ult, and we called it. Atlas is going to get picked up, and Masha, 4 times picked, 4 times banned, 50% win rate. Thanos would love this.
Ooh, this is interesting. With the Masha pickup, this confirms that Lola will not be playing the Valentina again in the EXP lane. So this is most likely going to be Mann's hero in the mid lane. And like you mentioned, that Cult Altar is a very valuable ultimate for Team HAQ to steal. So that does open things up for them. I wonder, Team SMG, they're definitely aware of this. They're prepared with the information that the Cult Altar can be stolen by the enemy. So what is the plan going to be here?
Boxia getting picked up. If this is going over to Box, looks like this is the season where James wants him to be a more utility-based jungler, just focusing on controlling the jungle itself, not really focusing on dealing too much of the damage. And if you have Smooth on your team, it really doesn't matter. Right now, Team SMG, they're going for the bans. It looks like they're focusing on to Gary. If they already ban out the Karina, I do want to see potentially banning out the Paquito, because again, the way that they play, they want to control the jungle. Don't give him early game junglers, but you know, that's my opinion.
Paquito would make a lot of sense here, but I'm actually kind of thinking about the possibility of a Hellcurt as well.
Hellcurt?
Yeah, it might not actually be a bad choice, because we already know it's something that Gary will play. But the Dark Knight Falls would be a very good way to bait out the Cult Altar, right? Yeah. It would make you think they're going to engage. Do we ult? Do we not ult? And it allows them to kind of waste cooldowns from Team SMG.
But that is a big risk because again, Hellcurt, what, level 1 up until level 3 in the jungle, it's not that great. And you know, most probably Faramis will be somewhere in the mid, either being a damage dealer or a roamer. Either way, he can engage earlier on and create chaos in the buff area. So I see what you're talking about with Hellcurt, but again, looking at how SMG plays in the first game, they gotta be careful with whatever they put in the jungle, because if Gary cannot do anything, they're not gonna get advantages in the mid lane. They're not gonna get advantages around the side lane. So they just eventually have to hope that Min, you know, just does something crazy, catch 5 people, and then they just win a team fight. But I don't think that's the kind of way you want to play against Team SMG. You don't want to be hopeful too much.
Yeah, I guess I can agree with you there. Looking at their lineup so far, while HAQ still has the utility that I mentioned, it is very risky because both Min and Mann aren't really going to have heroes that help avoid an invade from something like a Baxia and a Faramis. So yeah, something a little bit more durable or can clear the jungle quick enough that it becomes not a problem is probably going to be the priority for Team HAQ. Whereas Team SMG, they're actually going to finish off their bans with the Brody, so a better lane for Sasa as well.
Yeah, I was about to talk about that as well, because we saw how Panda does on the Clint, and I feel like Sasa says like, yeah, no problem. I can deal with this. We don't know what he can do with the Brody, but quite interestingly enough, Team HAQ, they ban out the Phoveus. Phoveus can fight against the Valentina, but this is the show, whatever they're gonna pick in the jungle or whatever they're gonna pick in the gold lane, they're going to have a lot of dashes. So we're going to look at a fighter or assassin situation. So it's probably not going to be a tank, because not a lot of tanks have tanks that play in the jungle that have a lot of dashes. So Gary, I'm glad that so far this show he's going to be very aggressive. And Team SMG, like I said, they probably read this. They're taking the Paquito for themselves.
Yeah, they're predicting that Gary wants the Paquito jungle with that Phoveus ban. So they steal it away, which is honestly so smart. So now it comes down to Team HAQ. Did they read it correctly? Do they have to change their game plan now? They do still have assassin options like the Hayabusa, like the Lancelot, but it has become a lot more difficult for them to play that recently. Ling is still okay, but again, the invasion potential from Team SMG with the Baxia Faramis is a bit too scary, and I get the feeling game 1 was a little bit traumatic.
Here's another one, which is Balman. Balman would be pretty... Oh! Alpha! Alright, we have Alpha for a long time. Claude, sure, whatever. Alpha!
Oh my
Alpha!
Good. That's actually a good idea.
It could work. Okay,
that's not bad.
I fought against an Alpha in rank, but the Alpha had an Angela. It was very tanky, but by himself, I'm not so sure. Alpha
can be built very tanky, and the value of this hero being picked up right now is the fact that he does have passive true damage, which would work very well against heroes like the Baxia and the Cho. And of course, he doesn't have to be too tanky because having the Masha and Atlas forms a pretty solid front line for him. But hopefully, Claude, this hero, has not been having a very good time so far. Hopefully, Panda will be able to pull it off here in game number 2.
This is the game to watch. Everyone watching at home, make sure you share the live stream. We're gonna see an Alpha debuting here in MPL Malaysia, and let's look at the focus player. Panda as well as Sasa, both gold laners. Both these teams will be looking at these players to potentially carry the game for them. I would say that it is focused on the EXP as well, but Panda, he has to beat out Sasa. If he cannot, this game is going over to SMG.
Unfortunately, Beatrix will win against Claude in lane, so hopefully he makes something happen here. The land of Dawn shall beckon once more as we witness what is about to be a bloody collision between these two teams on their journey towards the crown. It's gonna be Team HAQ on the blue side, Team SMG on the red. Box gonna be harassed by Min, forces out the retribution. That was a bit scary.
Yeah.
The timing slightly off.
It was a little bit early, but so far everything is going okay. Hate is trying to punish Min over here for overextending, but Min so far is like, yo, you can chase me all you want. You need to farm. I don't. So far, Team HAQ, they have been farming a little bit safer compared to before, so they're all good. Gary, he gets to get his first buff, which is more than he can say earlier in the previous game.
And it looks like they're going to use that to invade as well. They do have to be careful, though. This is 3v2. Gary gets pulled into the tower. Disrespecting Faramis. Gonna get caught out with the Shadow Stampede.
Dude, the Shadow Stampede, you can't... The range is outrageous. You would think it's short, but it's actually pretty... Look at that.
Yeah.
Maximum range, Shadow Stampede. And the thing is, Hate is using this Faramis. You gotta be careful. I feel like the tankiness from Alpha is good and all, but we gotta look at the emblem choice over here. It is the jungle emblem, which is not known to have the best of stats, right? Like Assassin, you deal a lot of damage. You build fighters, you can tank a little bit, but Gary, he has to pull it back in again because, I mean, I don't know. I'm not even sure what is the power spike for Alpha right now.
I'm pretty sure Alpha as a hero doesn't need at least 1 or 2 items to really start becoming a threat, and that also depends on what kind of itemization he is going to go for. But we have to note, I think a lot of players just aren't used to dealing with the brand new Faramis. Shadow Stampede used to be a very short pull, no matter how far away you got from the opponent, but now it does actually pull based on your distance. Cold Altar stolen. Will it be popped both at once? Turtle gonna go over to Team SMG, and right now, this is chaos. Everyone has 2 lives. Beautiful Fatal Link 3-man, but it might not be enough. Mann, the only survivor. 3 people down from the side of Team HAQ. And now Valentina is getting chased down. Shadow Stampede gonna find him. Fear chases them away for a short while, but it is not enough. Hate picks up another kill.
All out brawl over there in the Riverside, just focusing on the fight. Both co-alters were executed, and looking at how they played it out, they really didn't care. It's just like, all right, let's just try our best and hope for the best. And looking at this, let's look at the emblems for both teams. Mann over here is not really putting any points onto his movement speed, so he's focusing on the cooldown as well as the penetration, so potentially could deal a lot of damage. Lola against Move, so far it's been even Stevens in terms of trade, but that was a very good team fight. I kind of want to see it again just to see what happened because it was so chaotic.
Hopefully we get to witness that again in the highlights here. But even though Cold Altar was stolen successfully by Mann, they had to remember they really don't have a lot of damage at this stage of the game compared to Team SMG. And because of that, when they just go for an all-out brawl like that, they are definitely going to lose out no matter how good of a Fatal Links they get. They gotta hold back a little bit more and ensure that they actually hit their power spike, because that single fight gave Team SMG a 2k net worth lead.
Anyway, that was amazing to watch. I mean, like, as players, it's probably frustrating, but, you know, for us,
yep,
it was pretty good. It was pretty nice. And right now, I do agree. For the side of Team HAQ, they have a lot of control. But control means nothing when you can't really dish out the damage, and Team SMG, they're completely aware of it. And so far, I do want to talk a little bit about the gold lane because it has been pretty quiet up until now. I was actually thinking that Sasa would just straight up beat Panda in the lane, but Panda looks like he's pushing this quite evenly.
I think Panda's playstyle will shift now that he is on the Claude. He's gonna go for a much safer style, but Turtle already being contested in the backline. A stun will secure the kill onto Hate as Cold Altar stolen will keep members of Team HAQ alive. And Lola steals the Turtle! Mann finds the kill onto Noir in the back line, and that is a Turtle and 1 kill going over to Team HAQ, allowing Panda to take the entire gold shield.
Yo, Lola doesn't like us talking about Smooth too much. He's showing up. Not only did he get the kill onto Hate, but he managed to get the Turtle. Yep. What was that? Like, if you want to show up, if you want to show that you're a better EXP later, that's how you do it.
I think both junglers just couldn't keep an eye enough on the Turtle simply because of how chaotic that fight is. We can see neither of them ended up using Retribution there. Both battle spells still off cooldown. Mann being targeted by Smooth, but here comes Gary and Min. Will he actually invest the Fatal Links in? What if he does? Pulls it back into Gary. Cold Altar keeps the Paquito alive, and Smooth walks out.
Yeah, I was questioning that myself just because Gary already used his alpha charge, so he doesn't have that extra skill. He doesn't have that extra crowd control available for him. Good try. We can definitely see that the damage was there, but again, because of the call altar, he was able to survive. Team SMG managing to get the bottom tower. But again, so far this game is very even. So we got to talk about the scaling. Which of these teams will actually scale a little bit better, because the game so far has slowed down compared to the previous fight.
Interesting to note, I think Team HAQ actually scales a little bit better in the late game, and Panda definitely having a much better lane against Sasa now. But the kick onto Mann, Wave the Dragon finds him. He does have Cold Altar, but he chooses to flicker instead. I think that's the smart choice.
Yeah, right now, Team HAQ, I do kind of agree. In terms of scaling, they're looking good. They're looking very nice, but in team fights, if no one catches out Hate, and the thing is, Hate does have a Purify, because one of the ways that you can handle the Cult Altar is because he has a wind-up time before the area becomes his. So if you can stun him or put any kind of crowd control, you will cancel it out. But with the Purify, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, and Noir getting pulled back in. Panda using his ult, trying to kill off Hate. Hate still survives, move, almost dies over there. He still manages to get away with a little bit of HP, and looks like Team SMG, they are taking a lot of damage from Team HAQ. Team HAQ pushes forward. Gary manages to get more kills, and looks like they're not stopping. Panda going for it, looking for Box. Lola is focusing on to Sasa. Sasa manages to get away, but Team HAQ still manages to get the mid lane turret.
Team HAQ continuing to defy expectations, even though they were behind up until now. They found the perfect initiation onto Team SMG, and I love that. Catching out Noir, you typically don't expect Panda to jump in with a blazing duet, but the team knew this is the moment. We go in hard. They have the Cult Altar, they force it out from Hate early, so they don't have it to take the fight they want. And then the Shadow Stampede pulling Gary into the tower actually ended up killing more of Team SMG. You usually don't expect that, but it looks like their display was broken for a moment.
Yeah, and just now Panda, he did not have the golden staff. He just finished it. So in the next upcoming team fight, he will dish out a lot of damage. And Team SMG, they had a 2,000 gold lead, but right now it's back onto Team HAQ with the 2,000 gold lead. And we saw a little bit on the scaling there. The damage, they're starting to show. Gary, his true damage is starting to hurt Team SMG more than what they're more comfortable with. Because again, even when he's not around, the beta will actually follow them and dish out the damage. So even if they try to recall, they're going to take additional damage, making it that much more difficult for you to run away whenever you are engaged by Gary.
And you can see that the way that Team HAQ are playing right now, they are in full 4-and-1 mode. This is the strength of Masha and why teams still ban her out so much. Just the fact that Lola can push out a wave without being worried about being ganked at all, allowing the rest of Team HAQ to just protect Gary, Panda, and Panda alone is giving this Claude so much gold funnel.
Is this, like, again, the Claude is going in, focusing on the Sasa. There's nowhere for you to go. That's a free kill. Hate was far away. And Mann pulling the back. He managed to get two. Hate is going to get focused. Noir tries to run away. And the Cult Altar for the side of Team HAQ as well, making sure that they do not die. They did not manage to kill. But again, look at Lola pushing the mid. Team HAQ, a different team from game number 1.
This is just a complete team fight composition from Team HAQ. Just ball up as a 5-man, and there's nothing they can do about it. Lord gonna go over the Team HAQ. So far, Smooth has been doing a very good job of pushing up the top lane. Already cleared up all the towers for his side. But here comes Min. Paquito in danger, has to flicker out. Box wants to protect him, but Team HAQ will decide not to invest too far.
Fight fire with fire. If the EXP laner wants to push, you push as well. Deal as much pressure as you can on one lane. Team HAQ, they're so confident with Min on this Atlas. Looking at the items over here, the Claude already has his Malefic Roar. So looking at Box, he does not have a lot of armor. He has not completed it yet. So the damage coming in from Panda, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt a lot, especially because he has the Cursed Helmet with 1,200 HP boost. The Demon Hunter Sword, it's gonna hurt. It really is gonna hurt.
And this Lord is gonna hurt the tower as well. Here comes Team HAQ. They're looking for it. Fatal Link's gonna find one in front. Noir gonna be the first target. Cult Altar already popped by Hate in the backline. Lola gonna be tanking most of the tower. Sacrifices his life, but not a lot of damage done to this inhibitor. It does allow Panda to pick up the final external tower, though. That's Snipe doing a lot of damage.
Oh,
to the Claude.
Smooth.
Here comes Smooth. He wants to go on Panda, but he gets out with the Battle Mirror Image, forces out the blazing duet on the Paquito. Here comes Buck. They're looking for for it. Sasa gets the shutdown onto Panda. Wind of Nature keeps him alive for a short while. Shadow Stampede not doing too much. Mann picks up the kill onto the Beatrix move, coming in yet again. But here comes Gary. That's a lot of damage. That's gonna be the cult altar finally from the Valentina. Double kill going over the Mann. Noir pulled back, but pushed back again with the alpha charge. That might have actually saved his life. That's gonna be 2 casualties for 1. But Box not gonna let them escape that easily, but they still will anyway.
I love this game. Non-stop fights for both these teams. Gary, he has to be careful. He is essentially alone. Team SMG fortunately does not continue the pursuit. Team HAQ, they still have a gold lead. But look at Smooth. He actually came from behind, focusing on Panda, making sure that he does not dish out the rest of the damage onto the rest of the enemy team. And the Lord push advantage is a negative gold earned just because Team SMG got a lot from that previous trade. But again, this does show that for the side of Team HAQ, they need to step up in terms of their discipline. If Min doesn't get a good catch, maybe don't take that fight.
What I can't believe is that Smooth still is at the top of the damage rankings until now. Min! He gets a 2-man fatal legs. Cold Altar pop by Hate into the blazing duet, doing massive damage. Manor just being distracted in the backline. Box taking a lot of damage. Panda's just dishing it out. Sasa caught out. Not enough to take out Gary. Panda finds Noir in the back line. Box will be able to recall, but the same cannot be said for Smooth. Triple kill going over the Lola.
Man, you are a monster right now, Team HAQ. They're in the base of Team SMG. There's nothing that Boss can do, and Team HAQ will take game number 2, the equalizer, 1-1. We're going for a third game.
This is the peak of Mobile Legends, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're talking about. Season 10, breaking the ceiling.